welcome to Creating the Mind Space. Today I've decided to make a spiritual stick using this hazel twig that I've had drying in the garden for a good 12 months or so now. And without further ado, let's get started. And as we go along, I can tell you why I've chosen a hazel twig. So first of all, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on there. And as you can see here, I've got lots and lots of ribbons. So I'm just going to start now, and I'm going to start and wrap these ribbons around. And as I do this, I'll tell you a little bit about the hazel. So the hazel wood represents magic and healing. It is such a magical wood. So as you can see, I'm just wrapping this ribbon carefully around, and I have a jar of offcuts. So at the moment, for underneath, I'm using up these offcuts. I'm being very eco-friendly. Just be careful of the glue gun that you don't burn yourself with the glue. I'm always doing that, and it can leave quite a nasty burn. So let's just keep wrapping this around. So I'm wrapping it quite tightly to get a good firm bond. So back to hazel stick. If you've got a forked hazel stick, you can use that for divination, you know, for finding water and maybe even buried treasure as well. So if you're outside and you need some magical protection, you can quickly just draw a circle around yourself with the twig. Let me just cut that bit off there. Quickly draw a circle around yourself with the twig, just for that little bit of magical protection. Just popping a little bit more glue on there. And just take that down. Oh, this is a longer ribbon. This has got little, can you see it's got little owls on it? So let's use this one. So it doesn't matter, ribbons don't have to match. And I would say the more colours and the more joyful that you can make your stick, the better. So let's just keep wrapping that around. You could ask the plant fairies to help you. If you string hazelnuts on a cord and hang them up in your house or in your ritual room, then you're giving that hint, that, not hint, you're giving that question of asking for help from the fairies, which is rather nice. It's lovely to have help from the fairies. You can hang, sorry, I've just said that about the hazelnuts, haven't I? So you can use hazelwood for gaining knowledge, wisdom, poetic inspiration, and it's amazing, hazelwood, for making magical wands, which I have got some hazelnut magical wands. I've got some plain ones, just plain pieces of wood, and I've got some that I've decorated as well. So I'm just keep adding the little bits of glue onto there to make sure that this sticks. If you put hazel twigs in your window frame, it helps to protect your house against lightning. And 3 pins of hazelwood driven into your house are said to protect you from fire. Protect your house from fire. Let's use this white one. That's in knots. Let's undo the knots. So let's talk a little bit about spiritual sticks. So, spiritual sticks in magic are widely used. They bridge the gap between ancient and modern practices, because they are so beautiful and elegant. They vary from, what can you think? Comments below if I miss any out here. So your beautiful spiritual sticks can be staffs, wands, put a bit more of this glue on. See, I'm just building up my layers and layers of this beautiful pieces of fabric that might have otherwise been thrown into the bin. So where were we? Staffs, wands, talking sticks. They're used across cultures and are used to symbolise, not only symbolise, but they're also conduits of profound spiritual work. I'm just going to carry on up to the top here of this. Okie dokie, so I'm almost at the top now. So everything on there is recycled. So what I want to do is I want to put this shell on. I've chosen this shell. When I go walking, I do, because I do a lot of walking and beach combing. I'm going to put it there actually. When I go walking and beach combing, I look for sticks. Not for, well, I look for sticks, but I look for shells, unusual shells. Well, I look for anything unusual actually. So I'm just gonna pop that on there. So let me just hold that a minute. So if you think about it, spiritual instruments have been used throughout history. So I'm just stopping a moment while I let this glue dry here. So they've got a great cultural significance which spans sort of all over the world. We think of the shamans and the indigenous tribes to modern day mystics as well. So spiritual sticks continue to serve as a vessel for guidance, healing and for authority. Now I've got these feathers, and all of these feathers I've found locally in my garden mainly. So I've got a little jar of feathers and I thought I'd just put some into this. Let me show you. Can I show you? There is the little hole. I've put some glue under there and I bring my feathers. This one is stunning, got a stunning blue tinge to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I thought some feathers would go beautifully in here. So let's put 1, 2 and one more. I'm going to put those there. And then all I'm going to do again now is start to wind my ribbon around again. So if I put some glue onto the top of the feathers, then I can start again there with my ribbon. See what I mean? It's not so much about looking at the colours etc. of your ribbons. It's about what the ribbons actually mean to you. So to me, all of these ribbons that I've used are recycled, repurposed. They've been used on things that I love. So all of those ribbons and strands of fabric, oh hello Norma, that's my doggy there, will carry that spiritual energy from me. I mean, colours that you love, yeah, they're important, aren't they, as well, because you're putting your love into it. But if you don't want to put anything in that you dislike, everything that goes into your spiritual stick should be something that you do like. So let's get back to spiritual sticks. Where is I up to? So spiritual sticks serve as vessels for guidance, healing and authority. So it's a multifaceted role of a spiritual stick, and there's a myriad of ways in which they can be woven into contemporary spiritual practice. I thought I'd got hold of it the wrong way then. Ooch. Although it is underneath, I still like everything just to be done really nicely. I think it is important. Well, let's put this green on. Green to me represents healing. So the pinks represent to me, when we talk about colours and what they mean what they mean to you, the host of the colour. So the pinks to me bring happiness. The creams bring the calmness and sensitivity. The green here brings healing. So this is from a sari. It's upcycled from a sari, which to me is lovely because I absolutely adore India. And it's one of the most fascinating countries that I've ever been to. This blue is the colour of the stars and the night time and the heavens. You know, you look up at the stars at night and how beautiful, and how awe-inspiring. In my opinion, you know, spirit sticks, well, it's not my opinion, it's actual factual history, isn't it? Spirit sticks have been around as long as humanity itself. There's a little bit like, sticking up there. I'm going to go back and just go over that. Spiritual sticks are as old, what I'm saying, are as old as humanity itself. They trace back to a time when spiritual and physical realms were indistinct and fluid. What a lovely time that would have been to live. Religion, spirituality and religion are two very different things, and you know, religion is the man-made element. So yeah, I do say I'm a spiritualist. That's my religion, and that is how I try to live my life as a good, kind human being who would love to be treated. I hope to set an example that people might treat me that way as well. So, right. So these spiritual sticks, I know this one is crafted from wood, hazelwood, but they can be crafted from bone, can't they? You know, I've been to Africa, been fortunate enough when we set up a charity in the Gambia to support a school, and the charity actually became too big for us, so we had to give it up and pass it to another similar charity that supported schools in the Gambia. So back to spiritual sticks. When I was in the Gambia, I did see spiritual sticks made from bone, wood. I believe that sticks have been discovered made from metal in ancient civilizations. So they have been used in, let's put this one. This says Home Sweet Home. As far as I'm aware, spiritual sticks have been used for rituals, ceremonies, divination, and are used as a bridge between human and the divine. So in Native American traditions, the talking stick which is usually done with feathers and beads. So we've got the feathers on, maybe we could hang some beads. Was used as a symbol of authority within council meetings. So the person holding the stick was the person that could do the talking. Right, I'm just going to pause the video again now and just come down to the bottom of the stick, and then we can discuss talking sticks some more. Okay, so I'm back on up to the top now with the pink. I put the green and cream shamrock around. This is some hand-dyed sari silk, and this is some mustard sort of stretchy velvet ribbon. And some peach there. And as I said to you, all these different things mean these different elements mean different things to me. So I'm putting all that loving energy into this stick. I mean, the green and the cream there, the shamrocks are the good luck of the Irish, isn't it? There's a beautiful pink, which is happiness and love and bubbles and all things beautiful. Same with the peach. This hand-dyed sari silk here is more muted colours, and those to me bring back the memory of my loved ones, the sort of the shadow colours. So that's the memory and the joy and the times that I had with my loved ones. And then the mustard is the colour of sunflowers and the big golden autumnal sun. Right, I'm going to add some colour now, so we start to do this just a little bit differently. So I've got some blue. This is hand-dyed sari silk as well. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Oh, it keeps jumping out this stick. I'm going to start here, and I'm not going to wrap as tightly this time. So I'm going to bring my sari silk round, and I'm going to glue it again there. Just doesn't want to go through the opening. So this time I'm just going to make this wrapping just a little bit more random, so you can see some of those colours, some of those thoughts, some of those memories just coming through underneath. So as I was saying, we're talking about the elder of Indigenous North American Indians using the stick as a talking stick, whereas they spoke holding the stick, but it also was used to carry the voices of spirit people up to the spirit world, the heavens. So when I get to the top here, I mean, in African cultures, the diviner's staff, they were usually wood. And right, I'm going to crisscross this down now. You see that I'm crossing it down. I'm going to keep putting little bits of glue on. So the diviner's rod, yeah, played a crucial role in healing rituals, and also for communication with ancestral spirits. Here we go. So I'm just going to finish it off here. There. Then I'm going to take another colour to go over the top of that. So the Celts, they're from, we're looking at Cornwall, Wales, Scotland, and into France. They were known for their sort of deep reverence of nature. And so they made wands from oak and from willow for the Druid ceremonies and channeling the elements of the earth. So can you see how the pattern is changing now that we're adding the colour, now that we're more colour, now that we're opening up the binding and not making it sort of all fixed and layered together. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. I'm going to go round and then I'm going to come up, stick. It's quite a broad ribbon this one, so I'm just going to twist it a little bit and bring it up, and I'm crisscrossing it over the gold. Again, this is hand dyed sari silk. So the examples that I've been giving you there barely sort of scratch the surface of sort of the rich tapestry of use of these spiritual sticks. I mean, we could go on and on about each one and the importance of each one in its turn. So they're very personal, I think, and very sort of individualised as to what you might want to use your stick for. So every culture is imbued with these tools and the unique essences of the spiritual sticks, which form the rich symbolism of their culture, and it shows their understanding, each culture's or each person rather than culture. I mean, it does show the culture's understanding of the cosmos, but it also can reflect the individual person's understanding of the cosmos and the divine, and how sort of all of life is interconnected. Let's put a bit more glue on. I am binding quite firmly, but it's always good just to have the glue on as well, just to help with that binding. Okay, so here we are. You see I don't know if you can see the blue in this feather. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really, really lovely, and it brings me nicely onto all these lovely colours now that are woven into this stick. All these colours have a specific meaning for me. Each of the ribbons, the fabrics have meanings for me as well, and that is what makes the stick important. So the hazel is one of the most sacred sticks from my garden. The colours, the fabric choice, all of these things are really important to me. So whoever receives this stick will receive all this spiritual power and energy from the hazel, from the fabrics, and from the energy that I'm sort of imbuing into this stick. I'm putting sunshine, I'm putting love, I'm putting healing, I'm putting fun, I've put memories of our loved ones that have passed. So there's so much. So what I want to do now is protect all these beautiful colours and hold them within this energy and hold it within there. I've just been on a course at the Arthur Findlay College down in Stansted, and I actually did quite a bit of work on energy, colours and healing. And like I say, colour, people say, oh, purple means this and blue means that. Well, actually, no, colour is what is personal to you. So what have I got here? I can't remember what this is. I think this is like a raw silk, I think. And this is undyed sari silk. So I'm going to put some of these on now just to preserve the colour and the energy within the stick. So let's just take some pieces off. This, I went to May Day celebration, and these are in the UK. The May Day celebration is about fertility. that might be very meaningful to somebody. I just feel that it needed to go on, and I do go with my feelings. Right, let's get the colours protected in there. Colours and some of those energies. This is lovely, this sort of raw, undyed silk. I really do like it. So, civilizations. Let's get back to my story of these sticks. So, spiritual sticks. So, I have been doing quite a bit of reading. I've got little notes here to help remind me. So, let's bond that fertility within this stick. So, yeah. So, civilizations are imbued with stories and powers and life forces, reflecting the spiritual understanding of their own communities. So in many cultures and traditions, holding a staff or a wand is a sign of spiritual authority and leadership. Put some more glue on. And that is evident in the depiction of religious figures. So, for example, Moses had a staff, and it's very much made a point of within the Bible, within the Old Testament, that Moses had his staff, and he led the Israelites. He used his staff to part the Red Sea. So what I'm trying to say is that these leaders quite often have the staff. Let's see how far I can get this wrapped around. It's also a connection to the divine and our ancestral world. So spiritual sticks are conduits between the earth and the spiritual realm. I mean, even on the Lion King movie, I can't remember the name. However, he bangs his staff on the floor, doesn't he, to sort of raise the powers. Can't remember his name. Is the monkey bangs his staff on the floor? So they're often used to invoke, I think actually it is used to invoke the gods in The Lion King. So that's in African culture and tradition, used to invoke, and very much in Druid as well, to invoke the gods, spirits, ancestors, you know, to invoke communication between the spirit realm and the earthly realm. Beyond sort of the symbolic meaning, spiritual sticks are also used for healing practices. So they can be used to drive away spirits. I discovered that an ancestor of mine in the Channel Islands, and not that long ago in the great scheme of things, perhaps 150 years ago, drove away demons. Yeah, so there you go. He was a white magic man. He drove away demons, and he was a dentist as well. So I don't know what the two is. Well, with my dentist saying my tooth doesn't hurt when it does, perhaps he could have done with coming having a word with my dentist. So also healers use the sticks to drive away negative energies. Also channel healing, you know, by pointing and channeling that energy healing. Right, I'm just going around. I'm going to fix this round at the bottom here now. I hope I'm in screen. This is the first time I've done any work at my new desk here. It's not new to the world. It's a Victorian desk. it's new to me. I had it stripped and cleaned and my husband waxed it for me. There we go. So there's my colours in there. So now, just to add more texture, I'm going to start to use this natural, I believe it is natural silk. Let me just pull some off here. So spirit sticks as well, let's go back, can be used as a companion and guide within spiritual journeys. So for example, a focus meditation, a tool for grounding, and use it, you know, to set your own personal power and intent. Now I'm just sort of going to untwist this a little bit, because I do want some of these, you see these little bits to come out along the way. Don't know we're going to do this. So I think we can safely say that spiritual sticks are used so varied amongst different cultures, amongst different beliefs, that they are cherished, and that they do remind us of the broader universe. So yeah, I'd love your comments below, and because I feel that I am talking and talking and talking. Yes, I'm doing the video, but to hear your comments and what these things mean to you. I mean, you might just think it's mumbo jumbo. However, you know, like I say, some of these things, the use of spirit sticks in cultures is so old that there's got to be something to it, hasn't it? It can't just be, it's not just something that we've made up, man's just made up. And the very fact that they were used within the Bible, sticks take on that historical significance. Moses just being one of them. I think there's a few, is there a few where the staffs have been hit into the ground? Right, I'm getting a really good. I just want some dangly bits. I want more texture. I've been inspired to do this spirit stick by the artist Laurie Marie Jenkins. If you ever get a chance to look at some of her work, she is a truly outstanding, well, she's an outstanding artist, but she's a very, very spiritual lady as well. Right, so I'm going to go up with this, and I'm going to keep adding my glue to make this stick. Ouch. Not very kind, are they, though, these glue guns? Not very kind to us at all. Ow! Ouch. Just rub it off straight away. Then you think, is that glue or is it my skin off my finger? I think so, that was the skin off my finger then. Never mind. It's all in the name of love. It's one thing in this new craft room of mine. I don't have a sink, so I can't go and run my fingers under cold water. Perhaps when I'm using a glue gun, which is very, very rare. I do not like to use glue guns purely because of this burning. So I've got this natural spun silk here, but you could just use, if you don't have that, you don't have to dash out and buy it. That's the thing with these spirit sticks, with any art, just use what you've got. So it may be that you can use wool. Wool would be good, I would say. Just going to put a bit of glue there to hold that bit down. Wool would be good. Any fibres. I'm loving the where we're going with this now. Do you know, I think I will have cut just enough of this fibre to take me up and then to take me back down again. So that's really pleasing. Oh, I'm so pleased I'm not sort of cussed. I'm not a cusser though. So, ouch. It stays hot for so long. I need one of those glue guns that's like cool. You can buy the cooler ones, can't you? There we go. Ouch. So, look at that now. Can you see that? How marvellous is that looking? So I'm just going to stop here and I'll be back again shortly. So I actually forgot to turn the video on to show you where I wrap this red thread around. It's a hemp string and there's some red embroidery floss there too. As you can see, I didn't tie in all the little bits that I've created to hang out, purely because the red didn't go over them. So this is naturally how the stickers turned out so far. So far so good. Let's get on with the next layer. So what I've got for the next layer is I've got some glass beads. These are all vintage glass beads. Got a couple little pots of those, and I've got some wire. So now I'm going to put some beads onto my spirit stick. So I've got some wire which is about 2.5 times the length of the stick. I'm going to put some around, whoops, there we go, around the base, and I'm just going to tighten that up a little bit like this. I've got a bead, so I've got some vintage glass beads in this little, whoop, too low, this little glass dish, not little glass dish, little vintage dish with some little vintage, with a selection of vintage glass beads. Now I'm going to thread this one with the decent size hole through the middle of it, down my wire, put both pieces through the bead and just tighten that off there. I have a feeling I'm going to have to add more onto it. So now I've got a red bead. So I'm going to sit down now and I'm going to carry on adding my beads. So crafting the stick can be, well, is a meditative practice in itself. So you're imbuing your energy and intention into the stick. Consecrating the spiritual stick through a ritual I could do that is meaningful to me. See, even though I did it 2.5 times the length, it's not even going to go up the length once because of the twisting of the beads. So I could imbue the stick through smudging it with sage, anointing it with oil. I could bless it under a full moon. There's all sorts of different rituals that we have to imbue these sticks, or anything spiritual with ourselves, isn't there? There's just so much. So whoever decides to buy this stick from me will be able to do that. Right, I'm going to take some more of my wire. It's just from Hobbycraft. So this has just been a little journey through the history and the world of spiritual sticks. I'm just going about 1.5. Maybe I only did 1.5 size before. Whoop. So let's just bond these two pieces together. like this. Maybe fold it up, and then if I take a piece, a bead with a large hole again, I can fix them together as I did before. Let's have a look. This is a beautiful Victorian bead. That should go through there, and it has. That's not allowing me to hold it. So what I'm going to do now is fix that onto there. I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to fix that bead onto here. Oh, there it is. And then I am going to carry on with the beads. Okie dokie, so I do want to add some more colour back into this now. This is some vintage Hug Snug, some vintage seam binding. Yellow, one of my favourite colours. It's just the sunshine, isn't it? It's sunshine, it's healing. I mean, so much. Beautiful colour. Right, so I am literally now going to come down my stick. Oops, it's run out there. Let's put that onto there. Take the end again. Just stood up for a minute now. Let's put some more glue onto there. Oh, that's my new bit of stick. I'm going to put that on there and come down. I'm being careful not to cover up the beads. Whoops, whoops the daisy. That obviously hasn't stuck. It's because I don't want to touch it after my burning experience. Twice burned, twice shy. Never mind. Once bitten, it's twice burned. So I'm coming down, avoiding the beads. Right, down at the bottom now. So I want to put a good amount all around the bottom here. Oh yeah, list the way below in which your sticks are used in your country, culture, society. Alright, let's go round there with this. Let's take this around. I think I've nearly done with the glue gun. Yay. There we go. Yep, so there we go, they're yellow. So what I'm going to do now is, one, move the glue gun. Thank goodness, that's out of the way. So I've now got some more coloured results, some nice bright colours. And I'm going to take some of these off the twig. Can you see I'm on the twigs? Let's just undo these. And I'm literally just going to take pieces of these colours. So that's for me, green for healing. And I'm literally just going to tie them on. That's one, double knot it. I'm literally just going to tie them on like this. I think I will just put some of these little pins on after with these lovely charms on too. So we get a jingle. You could put bells on them, couldn't you? How lovely is that? Really, really pretty. And I'm going to finish off at the bottom with this marvellous green colour again that I started with at the top. So, can we see the bottom? Yep, you can. Let's pop that on there. So yeah, so within the bulb pins are little, I put little charms on. With that is I'm just going to pin it onto my stick. There we go. Where are they? They should be all over. I've got a Band the Bomb one, which is very pertinent at this moment in time. So let's just bring this one on as well. It's just there's situations with threats of nuclear bombs at the moment. Oops, it's just so horrific. It's just here we've got a little husk of corn, which is great for harvest. It's just such a scary world that we're living at the moment. So yeah, so to have a Band the Bomb charm is just perfect. This is on a red, corn is on a red pin. That doesn't want to fasten. There we go, it's fastened now. So I've got the red charm there. We have got a little seahorse. Oh no, it's Little Mermaid, sorry. Just to remember our seas. So let's pop the mermaid on. And I think that's it. I think that's all my charms used up. I've got one more there. That's great because I did just need one more for at the bottom. Let's pop the mermaid on. She can come down here. I think bells would be great, wouldn't they? The Morris dancing totems, I'm calling it. The sticks that the Morris dancers use. I'm sure they've got a proper name other than stick. Oh, they're a spiritual stick, aren't they? Do have bells on and they shake those sticks around. And what's this last one? This last one is, well, I don't know. It's some leaves, so let's just pop the leaves on. It will have some meaning for someone. And at the bottom, put the leaves on the bottom. I don't think you can, I think my hand's in the way of me doing that. Get myself all tangled up. The leaves at the bottom. Those were just a little afterthought, those. I thought I might as well use the charms. So there we go. We've used a shell that I've found while I've been out walking. I have used 3 feathers, which I've found while I've been out walking or in my garden. I've used lots of colours and fabrics, different ages of things that mean something very special to me, and of course the vintage beads and the charms, and I think that is rather beautiful. So thank you so much for watching, and enjoy making your spirit sticks. Thank you.